Live, local, now. This is WIS News 10.
Well, good Sunday morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Paul Rivera. The rain is gone and the sunshine is finally here, but will that stay as we enter a new work week? Let's go ahead and get a check with meteorologist Vaughn Gaskin for what we can expect. Good morning to you, Vaughn.
All right, good morning, Paul. Hey, we are live in the studio tracking cold temperatures. Not quite as bad as it was yesterday, because today we get the cold temperatures and sunshine. Now yesterday we had all that wet weather around and all those clouds, and we were talking about snow. Not the case for today. We have sunshine on tap for us and plenty of it. And the numbers have been actually pretty stagnant. They haven't really been reflecting that sunshine that's out there. Your temperature now 40 degrees downtown Columbia. We do see your numbers continuing to come up from the fact that we started out in the 20s this morning. It's 34 in Newberry and Saluda, also 36 in Aiken. Notice how some of those numbers are a bit stagnant because of the cool breeze that's blowing through, but you'll see your temperatures when you factor in a little breeze, it actually feels colder than it actually is. It feels like it's 29 degrees over in Newberry, feels like it's just 30 in Aiken, but feels like about 34 over in Sumter. And this is not far from where we were yesterday when we were talking about the clouds, the cool temperatures, and the possibility of snow. Only about 2 degrees warmer through Winsboro, Camden, and Bishopville. So this is around where we should be for your numbers. Now the numbers will continue to go up. We will have crystal clear skies. Today's high temperature will be 48 degrees. And then tonight we'll see those numbers dropping down again to below freezing. We're going to talk about how cold we get tonight and how cold we'll stay going through most of the work week in my complete First Alert 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Vaughn. Remembering an icon this weekend, hundreds bid a final farewell to the first African-American Chief Justice in the state since Reconstruction. Those are the sounds with the memorial service for Ernest Finney Jr. It was held in the James and Dorothy Z. Elmore Chapel. That's on the campus of Claflin University, where Finney graduated from in 1952. Family and friends watched over his casket as they told fond memories of his life and the legacy that he left behind. Those who knew him say his life impacted South Carolina in some really tremendous ways.
Ernest Finney was someone who thought that we could do better. And I think he encouraged me more than anything else to do that, to make a statement about where we are, where we were, and where we need to be.
Finney was buried in a private ceremony, and aside from his time in the court, he was also a former legislator. He was elected in 1972. Richland County deputies are asking for your help in identifying the people behind a shooting that sent 2 to the hospital on Saturday. Take a look. This is video from that scene. Deputies say just after noon Saturday, someone fired multiple shots from a vehicle on 2 Notch and Park Lane Road, hitting 2 men in another vehicle in the upper body and causing them to crash into a tree. The victims were taken to the hospital. They're expected to be okay, but if you have any information on this shooting, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC. A 19-year-old is behind bars after a hit-and-run incident in Columbia's 5 Points Friday night. Columbia police say Charles Jason was driving down Green Street around 11:30 Friday when he hit a 21-year-old pedestrian in the roadway, but not using a crosswalk. Police say Jason left the scene after hitting the pedestrian and went to a home on Lincoln Street. He was later found and arrested. Police say that pedestrian continues to receive medical treatment after suffering multiple lacerations. Jason is being held at the Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center under a $5,000 surety bond. And this morning we may have an answer about what was behind a bunch of planes flying in the sky. This was last night. Many of you called us to report a sight much like the one that's shown here. Video, it shows what looks like several planes, anywhere from about 10 to 15, flying in a line at low speed. We received calls from people who saw the planes in Lexington, West Columbia, and Leesville. Now, according to a Twitter user, Aircraft Spots, the explanation can be summed up to military planes. They say about 9 to 10 C-17s left Charleston Air Force Base and headed to Nellis Air Force Base to take part in a military exercise. And as always, if you have any more photos of the planes from last night, you can send it to our WIS Facebook page. Top stories this morning. Firefighters in Santa Monica, California were busy battling a blaze at a hotel. You can see it right there. The video was captured the top of the Huntley Hotel, which was burning. 40 firefighters were on the scene evacuating those inside. At least 7 people were checked out for a minor smoke inhalation. Once that blaze was out, those staying in the hotel were allowed to re-enter. That cause is still under investigation. Another day of violent clashes in Israel over President Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital. Israeli warplanes were in the action as well. Bill Neely was in the middle of the protests in Jerusalem.
Israel's response to Palestinian rage. Volleys of choking tear gas to stop protesters furious at President Trump after his decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Riot police on horseback confronting Palestinians. So far, these skirmishes don't amount to much. The question is, will they gather momentum? Are Palestinians prepared for a long campaign of protest? Funerals today for 2 Hamas militants killed by Israeli warplanes that hit weapons factories. The airstrikes coming just hours after rockets were fired into Israel. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas is directing his anger at the U.S. He'll snub Vice President Mike Pence when he visits this month.
They have no mandate to give away Jerusalem to an occupying power.
But street violence and global pressure are unlikely to change President Trump's mind. Bill Neely, NBC News, Jerusalem.
Lebanese security have also fired tear gas and water cannons at protesters near the U.S. Embassy. This is in Lebanon. This was after protesters set fires in the streets and threw objects towards security forces who had barricaded that main road leading to the embassy. And over in the UK, demonstrators protested outside the Libyan embassy in London, calling for the British government to pressure Libya to end the slavery and inhumane treatment of migrants. The protests followed the emergence of video footage last month that appears to show men being sold at a slave market in Tripoli. Last week, the United Nations Security Council expressed grave concern about the reports of migrants being sold into slavery in Libya, saying such actions amount to heinous abuses of human rights. Libyan authorities have now promised an investigation into the practice and have reached an agreement with European and African leaders for the emergency return of refugees and migrants who are stranded and being detained in Libya. And still to come on this Sunday morning, with the holidays just around the corner, one little boy is spreading Christmas cheer to those in need. More on how he's making a major impact in their lives during this holiday season. Plus, we are in for some better conditions today around the Midlands. Beautiful blue skies, but will it continue throughout the week? Fawn's going to have those details. That's coming up in just 2 minutes.
All right, we are tracking plenty of sunshine mixed in with some cold temperatures for today. So let's go ahead and start with our headlines for today. A sunny and cold Sunday on tap for you today. So if you do have outdoor plans or you have some things to get done, you want to make sure that you're bundled up nice and tight. Even with that sunshine, don't let it sneak up on you. Those temperatures are definitely very cold out there. We will see morning lows back in the 20s again tomorrow morning. So if you have to send the kids out to the bus stop, make sure you remember to bundle them up nice and tight. Perhaps find them a hat and a scarf or some gloves out there as well. So highs will be in the 50s for Monday and Tuesday, but by the time we turn the corner back into your Wednesday, we're starting out again in the 20s and ending up with highs only in the 40s. That's after a cold push of air. Speaking of the 40s, yesterday the high was just 43 degrees, so well below our average of 60 and nowhere near that record of 80 that we have out there. Now we're expecting those low temperatures to continue. Today's high just 48 degrees, and remember I mentioned that we will at least have 2 days where we're in the 50s, but even then we're still well below our average of 60 for this time of year. We will see another cold blast moving in late Tuesday night into Wednesday. We're going to start out with your temperatures in the 20s and we'll have daytime highs only at 45 degrees. Now something that we should get an update on going through this work week will be our drought monitor. This is something that's been really getting worse, but you think about it, remember last week we had rain Wednesday, Thursday and Friday of last week and even a little bit into Saturday morning. So that means we should have gotten some help in the drought department. May not be a lot, and it may not be enough to completely bust the drought, but it will certainly offer up a little bit of help. Just in case you've been watching the numbers with our rain totals coming in from our Columbia Metropolitan Airport. So for yesterday, we did not get any, we just got 0.4 of measurable rain. So not a whole lot of measurable rain. So for the month, we've seen over 2 inches of rain. And now since January 1st, we've seen over 46 inches. This still gives us a surplus of 4 inches of rain, but that's still not enough to get us out of our drought status. We certainly could use a little bit more, and of course we'll get an update on those drought numbers on Thursday morning of this week, so keep your ears open for that. Back on alert for tomorrow as we start out with temperatures in the 20s, and then we have a breezy and sunny Tuesday coming your way with 56. The breeze is because of the front that's going to move through, and that's going to knock those temperatures back down to us, back to the 20s to start and 45 for the afternoon. We'll see the 50s moving back in at the end of the week and into next weekend. We will see about 55 degrees coming your way for Friday. We will see a few clouds in there as well, but mainly sunny skies. It seems like the sun seems to take hold, and that helps us to endure temperatures in the 40s as long as you have plenty of sunshine. But like yesterday when we had to deal with all those clouds, it was really tough to take those 40s out there.
Oh yeah, it really was. And aside from this chance of snow, when I saw that sun come out, I was so excited because it had been a few days. It had been a few days, and now it looks like we're good. Those temperatures still around though.
Temperatures still chilly, but hopefully all that rain we saw last week will help us in the drought department. We really need it.
Thank you so much, Vaughn. We'll check back in with you soon. Well, this cold weather around the Midlands sure is setting the tone for the upcoming holidays. And with just over 2 weeks to go, many kids across the country are looking forward to the magic of Christmas morning. And one South Dakota boy wondered what that morning looks like for the kids spending the holidays at Sanford Children's Hospital in Sioux Falls. Eric Lee shows us how he's working to brighten their spirits.
Let's bring out the hats.
4 years ago, Nolan Adams and his family were driving to Sioux City to visit his grandma when
an advertisement came on the radio about the Children's Hospital.
So I asked my mom and dad, how many gifts do the kids at the Children's Hospital get? And they're like, not really as much as you.
So Nolan decided to take action.
We wanted to get a couple presents for the kids and take them to the hospital so they get some presents for Christmas. So we went and grabbed some at a store in here in town.
I got a toy truck and a stuffed animal frog.
Brought them over here and dropped them off for them.
That first year started with just 2 gifts the Adams family picked up themselves, but Nolan's project has taken off since then.
Oh, do you like horses?
Next year I think we had 50 presents or so, and last year we had 75.
This year,
176 gifts that we brought in today. That's amazing. Had you picked anything out yet?
Nolan says these kids should not have to think about the battles they're facing this time of the year.
I want them to forget about what's going to happen next, and I just want them to forget about all that and live a normal, happy life.
He says the Christmas season is a time to do something special for others.
It's really heartwarming and makes me feel good about myself. Me and my grandma say it's better to give than receive.
He says he wants to do it forever, so as long as we're living, we'll help him.
And switching gears here, how young is too young for social media? A new Facebook app, which is out this week, is causing some debate around that topic. Liz McLaughlin has some more.
Wherever there's a kid, chances are there's a mobile device close by. And increasingly, the digital offerings on those devices cater to young users, including a new app Facebook introduced this week.
There's a lot of apps that have content and entertainment for kids, but Facebook's definitely the biggest company to come out and kind of target this demographic for something like a communication app.
It's called Messenger Kids, made for children 6 to 12 years old. The app connects to a parent's Facebook account, allowing them to control who their child can talk to and monitor conversations. But the response has been mixed.
A lot of people are uncomfortable with the idea of Facebook reaching out and trying to get a product in the hands of their young child.
To comply with federal law, social media sites, including Facebook, have an age restriction of 13 or older to make a profile. But that's hard to enforce. According to Consumer Reports, 7.5 million Facebook users are children under that age.
Facebook's argument is that, hey, someone's going to start building these kind of products. We think we can do it in a safe way.
Facebook says Messenger Kids will not have ads or collect data for marketing purposes, but the company can still make money down the line by getting users in early.
People aren't comfortable with it right now, but I think over time, Facebook's not going to be the only one, and so we're going to see a lot more of this.
A race to be the training wheels of social media. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
And I know sometimes we don't read them, but experts suggest parents should review the policies and terms thoroughly before using any platforms targeted at children so that you know all those details that you're signing up for. Also in your consumer alert this morning, about 4,500 portable generators are being recalled due to a fire hazard. Listen up here. The recall involves Westinghouse iGen 2500 and iPro 2500 portable inverter generators. MWE Investments has received 4 reports of the recalled generators overheating and catching on fire. They were sold via Amazon.com, Walmart.com, and other online retailers. This was from June through October. Consumers should stop using those generators and contact MWE Investments to arrange for a free repair. And trending now, the new Star Wars movie is inching ever so close. Saturday, the world premiere of The Last Jedi at the Shrine Auditorium in LA kicked off. It featured a life-size ATM-6 walker, a brigade of stormtroopers, and some guest droids. But the star of the event was Luke Skywalker himself, actor Mark Hamill, and in a spoiler to nobody who saw 2015's The Force Awakens, Rebel hero Luke Skywalker has a prominent role this time around. The Last Jedi also features the final on-screen appearance of Carrie Fisher. The Last Jedi, it received rave reviews from viewers on Twitter, and it opens nationwide Thursday. It's dedicated to Fisher's memory. And one pooch in San Juan, New Mexico is learning if you do the crime, then you got to do the time. Take a look. Josie was taken into custody after she was accused of attacking a beloved elf. Her owner says he and his family woke up one morning and found the elf headless and in pieces. After conducting a full investigation, they found bits of stuffing next to Josie's doggy door. She was taken into custody for the holiday attack. The owner later posted pictures of Josie's walk of shame. Those photos have since been shared close to 30,000 times. And coming up, we'll have one final check on your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Vaughn Gaskin. Stay with us.